Okay, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Judas swing. All right, what is the Judas swing? The Judas swing is a fake run in the opposing direction of where a price really intends on going for the sole intention of taking liquidity, okay? So it's like a bait and switch. It'll look like it's going in one direction, and then it'll just switch up out of nowhere and turn on a dime, right? There's a couple times you want to keep an eye out for these Judas swings. London session, you'll get Judas swings like right after midnight. So right after midnight, which is 12 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, you'll see a lot of Judas swings at that point after midnight during London session. There'll be fake runs. It'll look like a trend continuation, but it won't be a trend continuation. You'll see it turn on the dime, and then it'll have a shift in market structure, and then it'll reverse in the opposing direction. And then also another time you'll get Judas swings is New York session. So like the very beginning of New York session, you'll see the same thing. Just like at the beginning of a London session, you'll see Judas swings a lot. You'll see many Judas swings at the beginning of New York session, which typically it'll look very bearish. It'll be retracing within the range that was created during London session. And traders that are really caught on their like intraday time frames, they're like really super small time frames, are looking at the chart, they're thinking it's very bearish, and then they get caught in something, hook, line, and sinker. So we're going to talk about this one on GBP JPY. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deviate. I'm going to put a day divider in, show where midnight is, because after midnight we come into London session. There's midnight, so we leave Asian session, and now we're coming into London session. Sometimes it won't happen like right after midnight. It won't always. Sometimes it'll chop around a little bit. It'll work a little bit. Like for example, right here on GBP JPY, some people might look at this up move right here and see this as the Judas swing. This up move right here. That's not the Judas swing. And it's not the Judas swing for a couple of reasons. And you know it's not the Judas swing if you were looking at your higher time frame chart, which a lot of people don't. Sure, it rebalanced that price action and then it sold off. And most people, or a lot of people that were looking at this, they're thinking that this is going to continue trending lower. Look at that big move down right there. Look at that huge explosive move down. That's so bearish. It's so weak. And now it's operating within a bearish market structure. It's going to trend lower. But then what happens right after doing that? Short sellers that were positioned in here that are keeping their stops above that high, they're taken out on that move higher right there. See that? What the Judas swing essentially does is it kills two birds with one stone. This move lower right here, it did both. So prior to this, like the market structure was still bullish prior to that move lower, and we have a swing low right here. See that? We have a swing low, or we have low of day right here. This move lower took out that swing low. See that? Whenever we take out a swing low, what do we take out? We took out sell stops. We took out sell stop liquidity in there. And what did I tell you guys? A Judas swing, the sole intention of the Judas swing is to take liquidity. We took that liquidity out of the marketplace on that big move down right there. Now, we took out the buyers. We took out the sell stops out of the marketplace. But also in the same exact moment, we're baiting in breakout buyers to the short side. They're thinking this thing's going to sell off, so they want to get a short position in this. So they're shorting this thing lower, looking for lower prices. And where are they keeping their stops? They're going to keep their stops above the most recent high. Okay? Why? Resistance, right? So, and what happens next? Right after taking out those sell stops, it reverses in the opposing direction, takes the buy stops now. So like I said, you kill two birds with one stone, okay? Both sides, they got it wrong on that particular scenario. We took the sell stops, we took the buy stops. And then we got a retracement within the range, which is our real move now. This was the real move. This was the real shift. This was the retracement, the New York Judas swing or New York turtle soup down within that range. Find support, moves higher. Now the next question is, okay, but how do we know which Judas swing is the real Judas swing? How do you know this one wasn't the Judas swing, and how do you know this one was the Judas swing? Well, it comes from looking at multiple time frames. We've already concluded that the daily chart is overall bullish, consistently trending higher, putting in consistent higher lows, consistently making new highs. Very, very bullish daily chart. So if you were shorting that right off the rip, you're fighting the trend, for one. But also on the 4-hour chart, this pullback, that Judas swing right there, this is a key moment you want to pay very close attention to. That Judas swing came down into a level of support. This is a way that you can play London session. For you London session traders, you'll get so many opportunities like this. You need to be privy to your higher time frame levels, which I've taught you in support resistance. Be privy of your higher time frame levels. Know what they are. This is an old high right there. We have an old high, aka a level of support, because it's in a discount marketplace. See that? Take that, the most previous low prior to that move up higher. See how it's in a discount marketplace below 50% of that price range? That Judas swing that happened during London session ran right down into higher time frame support, taking sell side liquidity. Just by having an understanding of your higher time frame charts, where you are on that higher time frame chart, where you are on that daily chart, 4-hour chart, you would have knew off rip that that wasn't the real Judas swing. Most people, they don't pay attention to the higher time frame charts. So they get caught in that hook, line, and sinker. They don't realize that they're trending down into a 4-hour discount. They don't realize that they're testing a 4-hour level of support right now. A lot of people, they're aware of Judas swings. A lot of people, they study Judas swings. And if you weren't privy to your higher time frame chart, you would have thought that this was the Judas swing, because it's right after midnight. You're thinking, hey, this is right after midnight. It took these buy stops. It just barely took these buy stops. And they think, oh, look at this big shift right after taking those buy stops. This is the shift. Now we're going to head lower. We're going to trend lower. And what happens? They get taken out of the play. Once price moves above that high right there, their stops get taken. This horizontal blue line that you now see displayed on the 15-minute, that was that 4-hour level of support. This displacement was right down into a higher time frame level of support right after taking low of day sell side liquidity, sell stops. Daily time frame, daily market structure, 100% bullish, extremely strong trend to the upside. That is the importance of higher time frame charts. Looking at that higher time frame chart, know where you are on that higher time frame chart. Because if you were aware where you were on that higher time frame, you wouldn't have been baited into this. You wouldn't have been baited in short to this. You would have knew that you were coming down to support. You would have knew that you were fighting overall trend. So that wasn't the Judas swing. That was just a retracement within that range right there up into a short-term premium. Okay, because we had that shift right there during London session. Let me go back to 1 hour. Because we had that shift during London session. We rebalanced that price action, which is all that was doing. It was just coming up to rebalance this price action, trading to a premium within that price range. And then it attacks the lows. This was the real Judas swing into higher time frame support. Then we get that move up higher. Okay, your best market structure shifts will be during London session. We get that market structure shift, takes out this high right here, and then we come into New York session. And after New York session, it's already clearly obvious at this point this was the Judas swing during London session. New York session, as I said, you'll get Judas swings during New York as well. Okay, New York session. Beginning of New York session, many times you'll see moves in the opposing direction where price really intends on going, again, just to take liquidity or just to rebalance price action. Rebalance price action meaning that there's typically, whenever you have an imbalance that's created during London session like we have here, New York session, what does it want to do during New York? It wants to rebalance that price action, because price does not like to leave areas like that imbalance. It's an inefficiency in price. Price does not like to leave areas inefficient and wants to efficiently deliver it. What does it do during coming into New York session right here, 8:30? It comes down and it efficiently delivers that portion of price. It sells off. It looks super weak, but it's at this point, it's efficiently delivered that price action. It's traded down within a discount within that price range that was created during London session. It looks weak, and a lot of the same short sellers that got stopped out right here on this move higher, what do you think a lot of them are doing now? They're seeing this thing crumbling. And if you're watching this thing in real time, it did look very weak. It looked extremely weak. Looked like it was going to take out these equal lows right here. And the short sellers, that's where that revenge trading comes into play. They're getting ticked off. They're like, whoa, no, you didn't just stop me out, and now you're going to go in the right direction now. They're getting right back into it, looking for these lows to get taken. What happens? You're tricked again. You get caught in another Judas swing. Comes down, finds support off that higher time frame support, and then rips higher. London Judas swing, look at my cursor. London Judas swing, New York Judas swing. Higher time frame chart was bullish, had a higher time frame level of support. That is how you capitalize on Judas swings. You got to be privy of multiple time frames. It's very important for these Judas swings. Fake run to take low of day sell side right here. Take low of day sell stops. And this fake run was to rebalance that price action that was created on the shift in market structure during London session. It came down, rebalanced it. After it completed its objective, it rebalanced that price action. We came up to seek opposing buy stops now. We got buy stops right here, and then we got buy stops right here. We take them. So those are 2 times. London session, New York session. The beginning of London and New York, you'll see a lot of Judas swings. Futures is the same thing. It's like literally the same exact thing with futures, guys. Like ES, NASDAQ, you'll get a lot of Judas swings during London session. the same exact signature that we talked about here. And then 9:30 equity open for futures is the most common time that you'll see those mini Judas swings as well, typically within the range during London session. It'll be a fake run at 9:30. You'll usually get like a spike, or you'll get a really explosive move at 9:30 that's in the opposing direction or where price really wants to go. Again, whether it's to take liquidity to rebalance the London range, and then you'll see it, you'll get that trend continuation. Sometimes 8:30 as well. You'll get it at 8:30, the Judas swing. But if it's at 8:30, it's going to be as a result of high impact news. But if there's no news at 8:30, if there's no high impact news for futures at 8:30, then your focus wants to go to 9:30 equity bell for that Judas swing, for that turtle soup or whatever you want to call it.